the speech title is, well, this is from the manual, The Goodwill Speech, and the title of the speech is Speech by Speech. Okay? Business and organizations know how they convey and maintain their image is vital to their success. They depend on public relations techniques to convey their messages and influence public opinion. The goodwill speech is one type of public relations strategy employed to build the public's favorable feelings towards a company. It is not a sales pitch or a heavy-handed attempt to persuade, but is, instead, a speech to perform a service that is related to the business, which provides a service or is helpful to the audience. Today, SueAnn Kern, a Park City Toastmaster for 4.5 years, will be delivering the goodwill speech from the Public Relations Manual, which consists of information on the subject of public speaking and promote goodwill for Toastmasters. The objectives of the speech are: 1. Prepare a talk that will build goodwill for your organization by supplying useful information of interest to the audience. 2. Favorably influence the audience by skillfully and friendly delivery of your talk. The speech will be 5 to 7 minutes. Let's welcome SueAnn.
According to most studies, public speaking is people's #1 fear. Death is #2. #2 is death. So that means if you're going to a funeral, you're better off in the casket than giving the eulogy. So Jerry Seinfeld had that pegged. Every one of us have come to Toastmasters with the intent to be more comfortable speaking in front of an audience. But we all still get that anxiety when we step up here to the lectern. You know, a stage fright, the butterflies, the angst, and the jitters. So for those of you who have been in Toastmasters 2 or more years, or if you've completed your Competent Communicator, raise your hand if you still get a little nervous. Okay, you know that's perfectly natural. It's a human response. It's that proverbial fight or flight. It keeps us on our toes. It keeps us from being cocky, forces us to prepare, and it shows that we care about what we're getting ready to present. So how do we get through this? Since this is all a healthy response, what do? We have to learn how to manage that fear. So regardless of whether you're a speaker or you have a role, there are ways that you can learn to manage this fear. And many of you, I'm sure, have heard versions of that saying that courage is not the absence of fear. It is acting despite the fear. So today, I want to show you some ways and encourage you to learn how to manage that fear. Especially for those of you who are new to Toastmasters and you're sitting on the fence and you're wondering, can I really do this Toastmasters thing? Can I really get up there and learn how to handle that fear? And I'm going to encourage you to take baby steps, little by little, roll by roll, table topics by table topics, evaluation by evaluation, and speech by speech. How? I'm going to give you 5 simple steps. The first one is to prepare. If you're going to give a dinner party for 20 people, chances are you're not just going to open the door and let the people in, sit them down, and serve a gourmet 4-course meal without any preparation. Chances are you're going to plan your menu days in advance, go to the store with a full shopping list, possibly specialty markets, so you have just the right ingredients. You're going to clean your house and set your table just so. Likewise, when you're giving a speech, practice. Practice in front of the mirror. Practice in front of your dog. Videotape yourself. If you're using visual aids, practice with them. Make sure that they're working before you get up there. If you have props, practice with your props. Know where you're going to place them. How are you going to pick them up? You have to practice. Even if you have a role like arm master or vote counter, regardless of what your role is, get on the Toastmasters International site or get on our own pctoastmasters.com. There are lots of guides and handy little documents that you can find that will help you learn how to do that role better. If you do not have a role and you're afraid you're going to get called for table topics, you can practice that too. You know what the theme of the day is, so think about that theme and think about stories from your life that might relate. Listen to the word of the day, go over it, remind yourself, I've got to use the word of the day. You can practice that. The second step, set yourself up for success. Arrive early and make sure everything is in place. Try some simple exercises in the car to loosen up your throat, like humming or singing or yawning. Also, don't drink too much the night before. Get a good night's sleep. Get a good night's sleep without an Ambien, hopefully. Have some throat lozenges handy. Have a bottle handy. A bottle of water handy. But the most important thing is to breathe. So I want everyone to stand up. We're going to do some belly breathing. Put your dominant hand on your diaphragm and just take some medium breaths in and out. You do this thousands of times a day. But how many times do you actually think about it? Every time you breathe in and breathe out, you are bringing oxygen-nourished air into your brain, and that will help you calm down, reduce your heart rate, and help with your jitters. You can sit down. Did you know that the word inspiration means to breathe in or to inhale? So think of each breath as an inspiration. Number 3, trust your audience. Actually, this is number 4, sorry. Trust your audience. So look out on your audience. Realize that nobody there wants you to fail. Nobody. So find some friendly faces. When I give a speech, I can always count on some friendly faces, some smiling eyes, and some beautiful smiles. And I know that I can gain confidence from them. And number 5, realize that you are the expert. Realize that you are up here for a reason. You have been asked to speak because everyone wants to listen to what you have to say. There may be somebody in the audience that knows a little bit more than you do, but they're not up there. I was giving a presentation at an event one time, and this gentleman decided he was going to let everyone know how much he knew about social media. So I listened to him and realized what a fool he was making of himself. Finished my speech, shook his hand, accepted the check from my client, and went home. So there. So, I encourage you all, don't give up. If you wonder if you can really do this Toastmasters thing, just take it little by little, step by step, roll by roll, evaluation by evaluation, and speech by speech.